Excellent.
It used to give us a big warning, didn't it? Oh no, that's Zoom that does that.
That's Zoom that does the
This
warning.
is sneaky. It just starts.
It's much more stealthy.
Do you not get anything at the top of the screen that tells?
Yeah, there's a little countdown and a little red dot.
Paying attention though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Zoom is like in your face.
Yeah.
You are being recorded.
Well,
I guess the assumption.
You don't pay attention.
I guess the assumption is with Zencastr, there's a good chance that you're using it specifically to record something. So, whereas with Zoom, it's much more geared towards meetings and things. Just to weigh in on what was being said, whilst I was trying to sort out my tech gremlins, Stu is absolutely correct. I have voice mod which I use to add effects to my voice for various things. And what it also does is it acts as an intermediary for my mic into stuff like Zencastr, makes it at an actual usable volume, so that you can all hear me properly. But also, you are correct in assuming that I in fact don't exist in real life. This is not my real voice. Really, I do sound just like Joe Pasquale.
And so is voice mod what you use for making threatening phone calls or ransom demands, that sort of thing?
My lawyer has advised me not to answer that question.
Because in the movies, they always use the same voice, don't they? The same, the Saw voice.
It's the
You have
monster.
12 hours.
Yeah, it's the monster filter on GarageBand.
Is it? Is that what it is? The monster filter on GarageBand, folks.
Similar. Very similar. In fact, I can do this now. I can do this in post. This is what the monster filter on GarageBand sounds like. And I hope I remember to do that now.
It's going to be really awkward if you forget.
Yeah, it sounds just like me.
Wow, there's no difference at all.
Or I hope I remember to switch it off as well.
That is the other way. Stu just sounds like an 80s phone hacker for the rest of the episode.
Or shall we just have an entire episode where we all just speak through that filter?
Yeah.
That would be horrific. Absolutely horrific. Anyway, welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I am your GM for this game and for many others. And I'm joined by Stu.
Hello.
I'm joined by Neil.
Hello.
I'm joined by Darren.
Hey up, yoff.
And I'm joined by Amy.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. It's been a week. How we all feeling? Everyone good?
Hey up, yoff. We're getting a bit Nottingham now, aren't we?
Hey up,
just
yeah. What you need to do at the end of this episode is get some snap and get your juff down.
Our American listeners may need translators.
Also, Amy might want a translation.
Yeah, our southern listeners also might want the translation.
Or anyone outside of the Nottingham area might need a translation.
I understood it. And I'm from nowhere near Nottingham.
Nowhere near. To an American, you're about as far as you go for a night out on the town. When they spend their evening driving around in their cars, as I imagine they do, because I've seen American graffiti, they probably drive further than the distance between you and where people say things like "get some snap and get your juff down."
Well, funnily enough, you should mention that because when I lived for a while in Doncaster, so I left Doncaster when I was quite young, 13 years old, and I did go back and live there for a summer with my grandmother when I was quite a bit older. And yes, I used to go to Nottingham quite regularly for nights out because I'd heard a rumour that the women outnumbered the men 2-1.
Apparently they do at Nottingham. Is it university or college? Because it's a teacher training school. So so a friend of mine went there, but he couldn't handle it, so he went and joined the campaign for Real Ale and hung around with old blokes for his 3 years at college.
I was about to ask: Are those two things like? Is there a correlation there? Could he not handle it because there were so many women?
He couldn't handle it. I think he'd been brought up in an all boys household and been sent to an all boys school, and suddenly there were all these women everywhere. So
Well,
he decided to go and drink beer with old men instead.
Right.
fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
where you're from, Stu, in Doncaster, is that where is shin kicking a sport? It is for that part of the world, isn't it?
Well,
Shin kicking.
Sport is an extreme
Well,
term.
Well, it's a contest of skill and fitness, isn't it? And speed and dexterity
Is
and
it, though?
agility. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Is
not an
it?
Olympic sport.
I'll tell you, I think my favourite thing about this entire little sidebar that you've just had, we still have no idea what you said about 3 minutes ago.
All right.
No.
For our American listeners, get some snap means have some food, and get your chuff down means get your head down. And shin kicking is a sport whereby the two
not a
contestants,
sport.
the two contestants will they basically take their trousers off. They can smother their legs with lard to make it less easy to score a direct hit. So we stand face to face. We'll hold each other's shoulders, and we'll be wearing heavy wooden clogs, and we'll take it in turns to throw a kick at each other's shins.
That
And,
just
you're
sounds
gonna
so
score a hit.
British.
Neil, are you
once-
sure? Are you
Yes.
sure that this is a sport? Because it sounds more like a sex thing, if I'm completely honest.
It is a sport, and then if you decide
not a sport.
when you realise that you're outclassed, that you need to submit. The way you would do that is you say sufficient,
Oh dear.
and
Well,
that shows you've given up. Shin kicking.
Speaking of sufficient shin kicking, we've got to go Pathfinder's play.
We have, yes.
How's everyone feeling? Brother Amos has just won his first arena fight.
Barely.
Just barely, indeed. Yes, it was very tight at the end there. How's he feeling?
Not very well.
Uh-oh.
A little bit poorly.
Little bit poorly.
I'm sure we can do something about that.
I did not think you would win.
Yeah, that's it. Because the rest
Yeah.
of the party, also accepted, are suddenly a lot richer.
Yes, I was very worried for you. But also worried for my purse, so it was a slight conflict of interest.
Should have taken a side bet on Otto losing his bet.
That's how you play craps, isn't it? That's how you make bets on the person betting.
Yeah.
You bet that the person betting is going to win or lose.
Which
That's
just
not how I
sounds like a
take a
really.
crap.
And isn't that also how you play the stock market? Isn't that basically how our economy works?
Yeah, it just sounds
That's how
like a really
that's
stupid
how
way.
the global crash was caused.
Yes.
There we go. So before we actually get back into the game properly, this is episode 90. We've made 90 of these now. Madness.
Oh wow!
9-0.
And in addition to being episode 90, this is actually a very special episode for one of our cast. And I'm looking around the recording call to see if anyone knows who that episode is special for.
I know who it is.
Was
Amy.
it?
Amy,
Yeah.
happy 20th anniversary.
Oh,
it is-
has it been
it
a
is-
whole year already?
It's been a whole year. When
Oh.
this episode goes out on the 5th of February, it'll be a year since your first appearance on the show.
Gosh.
So
And
happy,
can't see, yeah.
And you
happy
haven't kicked
20th
me out
anniversary.
yet.
It's because
Happy
you are the
birthday
glue.
to
No.
Happy.
I
We
get
tried
that
this.
my-
We
my
tried
20
this. We tried this on the anniversary special, and it was horrific. And we are never
was.
doing it again.
Maybe one day we'll get it right, though.
Maybe we will. Perhaps when we're back in the same room again.
Yeah, I would very much like to do some in-person recording again.
Yeah. Well, I'm keen for it. I've got quite a lot of time at the moment, so we'll figure something out after we finish this episode. I'm sure. But in the meantime, we have a story to continue. So, our adventurers, Alwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, Otto von Niederschläger, and Della Thornbury, have found their way over to the Ifang Arena, an arena in the Troll in White Throne's Troll Quarter, where sort of pit fighting and one-on-one combat seems to happen for sport and for entertainment. And on making your way over here, and as we mentioned whilst we were off air, completely forgetting the actual reason you came here for, the party spoke to an orc known as Jonah Twinscar, who is seems to be the master of the arena itself, and you registered Brother Amos to fight against a challenger against a fighter known as Greta. Once this registration had been made, you sort of retired to get yourselves ready for the fight. Find yourself some prime seats. Get a drink, get something to eat, and place some bets around the arena. And a short while later, with some extra mileage from Alwyn, shall we say? Your bets were placed, and you made your way into the arena just in time to watch Brother Amos take the field against Greta, who was revealed to be a winter wolf, the very same winter wolf, in fact, who had greeted the party at the Howling's Gate when they first entered White Throne. The battle commenced, and Amos and Greta squared off in a fierce fight in which the two traded blows back and forth until finally, bruised, bloody, and very out of breath, Greta eventually was dropped to the ground, and threw her arms up and yielded to Brother Amos.
Sufficient, she said. Sufficient.
Sufficient. She did say sufficient, and her legs are now covered in lard. She's going to take it. It's going to be hell to clean that off her fur. So yeah, so she has just dropped. So yeah, that's kind of where we bring ourselves back in. So yeah, Brother Amos, Greta kind of drops down to one knee after you land your last strike on her. She drops down to one knee. The hammer slips from her grasp. The strength kind of failing her from the injury she sustained, and she raises her hand in surrender and says, "All right, you win this one. I yield. Do you want to do anything particularly silly?"
No, I'm gonna hold out my hand and help her up off her feet.
All right.
Always a gentleman.
And then knock her the fuck out. I'm not gonna do that.
So yeah, kind of as she calls out, "I yield." The rest of the crowd just erupts. You hear the announcers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what is this? We have an upset on our hands tonight. This is some exciting stuff. Or glory to the champion of this round, Brother Amos. The crowd goes suitably wild. Alwyn in the
apart from all of them who lost their bets.
Oh yes, and
which would have been most of them.
There are a lot of unhappy bettors.
Yeah, lots of torn tickets.
There are a lot of unhappy bettors in the stands around.
Tear-stained tickets
around the rest of the party.
I get a bit excited.
Yeah, we know you do. Yeah, there are a lot of unhappy bettors. You do see people sort of throwing their betting slips up in the air in disgust, and heading off, presumably to get a drink or whatever it is that they're doing to drown their sorrows. But on the whole, the crowd seem quite excited by this turn of events. You seem to have made quite an impression here, Brother Amos. Kind of as you offer out your hand to Greta, she reaches down, grabs hold of her warhammer, takes your hand with the other hand, with still quite a firm grip, despite having had the shit kicked out of her, and she you help her to her feet.
The shins kicked out of her.
The shins kicked out of her. Exactly.
Oh, but I did keep trying to sweep the leg. I remember that.
You did.
You did. You were trying hard to hammer out that knee. It wasn't going. But kind of as you help her to her feet, Brother Amos, she looks you in the eye as you do so, and she says to you, "Well, I must confess, it's been a while since I've had a human challenge me like that. What are you doing the rest of this evening?"
You're in there.
What are you thinking?
Well, I was. The night is still young. I'm going to get myself patched up, and then I'm going to head over to the Howlings and get myself a glass of wine and some food. I thought perhaps you might like to join me.
I think a drink would be good right about now.
All right. In that case, I will see you over at the Burning Heart. I shall be there in perhaps an hour's time. I'll wait for you there.
Okay, the first round's on you.
Of course it is. You did best to me after all. That's only fair. And she gives you a wink, sort of, and a friendly, playful punch on the shoulder as she slings her hammer over her shoulder and she walks off towards her competitor's entrance. And I'm assuming that you leave the arena.
I'm gonna leave the arena with a little grin on my face.
Yeah, no worries. All right. So, kind of everybody else, you've just seen obviously Brother Amos be victorious in his bout. You see, he has a brief exchange with Greta. You can't quite make out what's being said from where you are and with the noise of the crowd. But you the fight is over. What do you want to do?
I expect you will want to collect your winnings.
That's first thing is collect winnings. And Alwyn's got a few people.
Can we go to the same person that we saw last time?
You can. I mean, he's got you. So he is who some of you have met with. So absolutely. As you make your way out of the arena, some of you more joyful than others. Alwyn, you make your way around the various bookies who you place bets with, and you receive all the money that you gambled with them.
What are their names? No, I'm joking.
Their names are.
I'm writing this down. Go.
Steve, Josh, Matt, Kieran, David, Lucy, Jessica, Matthew, Jonathan, and Bartholomew.
Sorry, what was that again?
I missed a couple.
Ask Amy. You should ask Amy.
I got 8. I don't know how many you said.
I said 10 names.
Eight's
pretty good. 8's pretty good. All right. So Alwyn gathers his winnings because they were smaller bets. It's not such a big deal. When you return to the first individual who you spoke to, he greets you once again. Yes, step right up. Well, welcome back, my good friends. It seems like you had quite the hot tip there on your friend. Gives me great pleasure to give you your winnings in exchange for your betting slips, please.
Oh yes, the betting slip, which I put in my hat.
A very safe place to put it, and if I say so myself, were I looking to thieve it, I would never have thought to look in your hat.
Nope.
That's why people hide their secret messages in their hat and say, "Keep it under your hat." That's what that means.
So that's where that saying comes from. I've learned something today. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Tell people, it's not very secret, is it?
No, but another method is I will give you the message verbally, and then I will make you fill your mouth with beans, and then you cannot speak until you get to the place where you are to deliver the message, and then you spill the beans.
Spill the beans. I see. Yes. I like that. 2 for 1 today. Very, very nice.
And one more. You put the message in a bag with a cat, and then you have to take that to the person you're delivering the message to.
And then you open the bag, release the cat, and therefore the message. So you let the cat out of the bag.
You let the cat out of the bag. Yes.
Oh, language is such a wonderful thing.
Isn't it a wonderful thing?
Why not just spit the beans out, say the message, and then put the beans back?
Well, it's a bit uncomfortable having your mouth full of beans. They are dried beans.
And also, if you spit the beans out, the beans have then been on the floor. Do you really want to be eating floor beans, sir? You don't look like the type to enjoy floor beans.
But no, you can spit them into a bowl or into your hands or.
That's why it's best to keep it under your hat or not let the cat out of the bag.
Well, just don't fucking tell people.
I'd just rather eat the beans, personally.
There you go. Well, I hope your winnings allow you to buy yourselves many bowls of beans with which to enjoy. Here you go, folks. He hands 20 gold over to Della, in addition to the 8 back.
Nice.
And Alwyn, you will get a total of 125 gold. On top of your bet. And I realised after the last episode that I completely screwed the pooch on those odds. I've given you far too much money from this because honestly I don't really gamble myself. I don't really know how it works. So literally I thought that 2.5 to 1 meant that you got 2.5 times your stake. I didn't realise you got the stake back as well.
Stella knew this.
Well, otherwise, if it was even odds, if it was 1 to 1, then you would just get your money back if you won, and nothing back if you lost. It's not much.
That's why I've always been so confused. By gambling. I'm like you sort of see like 0.8 to 1 or whatever. I'm like, why would you do that? You're going to lose money regardless.
Or betting on Greta at 1.5 to 1. It means that you bet 1 gold piece and you get 5. You get 1 gold piece and 5 silver pieces back.
Yeah. So I probably should have given you not so good odds, but fuck it, it's fine.
Too late now.
Bye.
It's only my game economy that I've ruined. It's absolutely fine.
If it's
all right, we'll just see inflation.
Otto's just lost a shitload of money, so you know.
He has.
It balances out.
To be fair though, Alwyn could give Otto his money back and not even break a sweat with what he's earned from that. Just putting that out there.
Too much money.
No, I entered into the spirit of the game. I've been entertained by it, but that is how it goes with gambling. You do not always win.
No, never gamble what you're not prepared to lose.
That sounds like good advice.
Yes,
right.
That's true.
So, Amos, as you return kind of to the to the locker room waiting area, whatever it's called, you find that there are a couple of attendants there. They're waiting. They seem to have sort of bandages and sutures and sort of poultices and all that sort of thing. And if you like, they are happy to spend 10 minutes patching you up a little bit.
I think that might be useful.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, you'll be glad to know they are not Alwyn, so they do not deal damage to you. Amos, you recover 16 hit points. Ooh. As they spend 10 minutes sort of treating the injuries you've taken. Compresses for the swelling from the hammer blows, or all that sort of thing. And a little bit later, you feel better. And slightly. And 10 minutes after that, I'm assuming you leave the arena.
Yes.
All right. Okay, as you do so, you find your companions waiting outside the competitor's entrance for you.
We're making it rain.
Alwyn will shake Brother Amos's hand very, very firmly. As he does so, Brother Amos, you get another 12 hit points back.
Thank you very much.
How is Brother Amos feeling now?
He's feeling almost halfway to normality.
Oh, shit, right. Quick, desperate prayer. That's a feat to Gaiden Kalian. And you
Gets
get
your focus point.
Another 12 hit points back. And
is that Leon? Have you heightened lay on hands?
Oh, shoot. No, I haven't heightened it, have I?
Because I thought it was 6 base and it's plus 6 for each level above. So at 5th level, you should be getting 18 back.
Yeah,
Ooh.
sorry, it's 18 at a time. Yeah, so you get 36 back. My apologies.
We've been level 5 for a while.
You really have.
Actually, I haven't used Lay on Hands for quite some time.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time you used it.
No, it's been a while.
You've not done a whole lot of fighting in Whitethrone. You've been very, very shrewd so far.
Yeah.
Don't say stuff like that.
That's right, we're building up. We're like, taking a step back so we can take a run up at it and go fight this dragon.
Is that what we're going to do? We're going to fight a dragon?
Yes,
Right
we're
now?
going to do that now.
Is that really wise?
Well, ultimately,
No.
I think, foreshadowing, we gotta fight a dragon.
I don't know what you're talking about, Stu.
No, we've got to ride a
I
dragon.
know.
I mean, you do have a lot of irons in the fire in Whitethrone at the moment. Honestly, I've been quite impressed by how willing you guys have been to explore the city so far. Because kind of up to this point, you've had this single-minded focus, which has been we must do the thing that is associated with the main story. And now the main story has gone. You have to wait. You've gone. Oh, actually, you know what? We will explore for a little bit, find some other things to do.
Well, partly it's lack of choice in that regard. Like you say, we've got to wait. So, what we're going to do, but also for Alwyn, rather, it's the fact we're now in a city we can actually start upgrading equipment and doing things like that. Which got to sort.
We should do that.
At some
Did we
point
do
soon.
that already?
You started
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Alwyn's rapier is currently being upgraded.
Yeah. Need to go
And
get that
now-
back at
and
some
now-
point.
Now you all have a little bit more money. Maybe a few more of you can look at that as well. But I do digress. Kind of so kind of as Amos comes out of the competitor's entrance, and the rest of the party kind of join you. You get your healing handshake from Alwyn. What do you guys want to do?
What do we want to do?
You're still looking rather beaten up. Do you want some more healing? I see they've sort of done a bit of a job on you.
Yep. Some more healing would be good.
So let's get you over into a corner, and yes, you can regale us with stories of what it was like in the ring.
Painful. But I think I got a date out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that, or it's a trick, and she's going to shank me.
Isn't
Well,
that the
that's
objective of a date?
That happens with it. That can happen with any date, can't it? We've all been there.
Oh, shank! Sorry, I misheard you. Right, Alwyn's going to do a heal at DC 20.
Okay. So it's a medicine check.
Oh, and I get a dirty 20.
Excellent. That's a success. That's 2d8 plus 10 hit points back.
Okay. Oh, 2 8s on the dice.
Excellent.
Nice.
26 hit points back.
26. 26.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Which takes me up to my favourite number.
69.
There we go.
Nice.
Ready for your date.
Nice.
Got to have you looking
Ready
fit
for
if
my
you're
date.
Yes. The bruising will go down.
Yes, kind of just as you're finishing up treating Amos's wounds, Alwyn, and you're kind of all getting to your feet, getting ready to move on from the arena. You all hear the sound of heavy metal boots crunching on the snow, and you look off to your left, and you see coming around the corner. You see the tall, imposing figure in a chain shirt with a black hauberk with a white crescent moon emblazoned on the front of it. You see the monocled orcish form of Jonah Twinscar heading in your direction, and as he sees all of you, he kind of doffs an imaginary hat in the direction of Brother Amos and sort of bows his head very, very slightly. He straightens back up and he speaks to all of you. Well, now, that was quite something. Must confess, I had my doubts when you wandered into my office earlier, but you've surprised a lot of people tonight, Amos, myself included. That was quite the fight.
It was. I surprised myself.
It was. Well, if I may be so bold as to say, I'm sure the crowd of the Ifang would love to have you back. I don't know how often. I don't know how long you're in Whitethrone for, but yeah, we'd be glad to have you back fighting if you're open to the idea, and certainly now that you've proven yourself a bit, I can face you against perhaps more challenging opponents.
More challenging opponents.
Yes. Did I hear you mention when you first got here that you fancied fighting a troll?
Did we fancy fighting what? I missed that.
A troll.
bit.
A troll. Yes. When you first came into my office, I'm sure you asked, you inquired about fighting a troll, or perhaps I'm making that up. Perhaps I'm using knowledge that I don't have.
No. We did. That was me. I said, "Oh, is he not going to fight a troll?" and looked all disappointed. So no, you didn't imagine it. But we did say we'll have a group fighty fight.
No, we didn't. I did not agree
we
to
did.
this. No, we did not. I never said anything about it.
Silence, slave.
You did mention something about a possible group fight, and I must confess, now I've seen your man in action, I'm inclined to consider that just a little bit. I have enough. I'm glad I found you before you've left for whatever you're doing with your evening's entertainment, because I've got an offer for you. And his eyes kind of rest on Della for a second as he says this. In 3 days' time, we have a tournament here at the Ifang Arena. It's quite prestigious. There'll be competitors coming from all over Irison and some beyond here to fight in the Ifang for the title, and also with that title a grand prize of a substantial amount of coin. Now,
How substantial?
6,000 gold pieces.
That is quite substantial.
It is.
It is.
A queen. I'm told, though I'll believe it when I see it, that Queen Elvana's daughter, Princess Kasisochi, the regent of the Regent of Thronehold is going to be in attendance, so it'd be a good chance to catch the eye of the royalty if that's something you're aiming for. Now, this tournament, as I say, it's quite prestigious. Usually, there is a buy-in fee. However, based on what I've seen from your man tonight, I'm prepared to spot your entrance fee.
So, this tournament, would we be fighting as a group together, or
you'd be? Yes, it's a group fighting tournament. We bring adventuring teams, Pathfinder squads, all sorts of groups from across the world coming together to fight. You'll be fighting a selection of monsters, and it will culminate in a duel between the two victorious parties. Last team standing takes the prize.
Well, so Otto, I was only joking. You don't have to fight if you don't want, but I'd be up for that.
Yes, I am very keen as well.
Is this again? It's not to the death. Of money. Yes,
it's not to the death.
It could be to the death.
When you're fighting other parties, as I suppose the term. Yes, the same rules as Amos has just had apply. You don't fight to last blood. Fighting against the monsters that are brought in. Obviously, you are there to kill that monster. There is a chance it might kill you in return. However, we will do our best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, I would hope if I killed the monster, it wouldn't kill me in return.
You'd hope so. You'd hope so.
But that sounds like right up our street.
But are the monsters trying to kill us, or have they been told you're not allowed to kill the competitors?
Well, the monsters are monsters. I don't know what you're like. Have you ever tried reasoning with, I don't know, a great slime?
I mean, I've tried with my fists.
So I mean, one person's monster is another person's, next door neighbour. Non-sentience.
That's certainly the case. That's certainly the case in Whitethrone. Yes, non-sentient is a good way to put it. These aren't intelligent creatures by any means.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, in this party. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Yes, I'm up for it. Who's anyone? So Della.
Yeah,
Amos.
Absolutely.
Game.
What do you think, Otto? Can you be?
Why are we doing this? We have other things to do here. We have other business here in town.
Also, as a princess, and we know you like them if they're female.
Not if I'm dead, though. Not if I've been killed by a monster.
You've killed loads of monsters before.
Watch from the sidelines.
But so am I to assume
bet against us? It's fine.
There are no rules to this fight that I can use any power that I want.
Of course, yes. Your abilities are not restricted in any way. As I say, the only rules that are in place is that should you make it to the finals and face off against another party of competitors, at that point you do not fight to last blood. But otherwise, you do whatever you need to do to survive and to win.
I always fight to last blood. Otherwise, what's the point?
You must have been a terrible bounty hunter when they said wanted alive.
Usually it was dead or alive, and dead is just easier. Unless they're very cooperative.
We usually get less for dead.
Well, if you're not interested in competing, that's also fine. Your three companions can on your behalf. I'm okay with that.
4 Chardonnay. Chardonnay will compete.
4 or all right.
You could bet against us, Otto.
I could. I will hedge my bets.
And then the big pile of money he wins could ease the whole of the friends
of the loss. Yes, I'll cry all the way to the bank.
Buy enough diamonds to resurrect us. Yes.
So what's it to be? Are you interested or not?
Oh, yes, yes.
I'm interested.
We are. He's not.
All right. Well then. In that case, I will get some papers drawn up. Come back to me tomorrow, and I'll get it all finalised. Whilst I'm doing so, you might want to have a think about what you want to be known as. The crowd are going to want a strong sounding name if they're to get behind you as a team.
We are the Fishy.
No, we're not.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because that's what we decided on.
No, we never decided anything.
Why? I tell you what. Why don't you have a conversation amongst yourselves, and you can tell me tomorrow what you want to be known as.
Yeah, we will.
All right. So as I mentioned, I will front your buy-in for this for this tournament. If you are successful, I will take that fee out of your winnings. Does that sound fair?
In order to answer
what is the fee?
Yes. Exactly.
Fee is 200 gold per competitor.
Okay.
600 gold off your total.
So Chardonnay doesn't need to buy in, but Chardonnay can come with us, right?
Yes. The wolf is your companion. You used the wolf in combat. Then yes, of course.
Can my companion be Otto?
I don't think he's willing, but I'll let you have that conversation with him.
Otto is sulking.
Well,
All right. So in that case, yep, come and see me. Come and see me tomorrow with a name, and we'll get that. We'll get all the arrangements finalised. You have a good evening now. And he turns.
Mr. Twinscar, quick question. We've
Yes.
heard. So we've heard. I mean, you know, obviously the Iron Fang Arena is very famous, far and wide, and that's why we've come here tonight. We've heard that sometimes you have sort of prisoners fighting as well. Is that true? Might be an exciting battle to watch.
Give me a diplomacy roll, Alwyn.
Oh, 19 on the die for 23.
Yes, sometimes we do have prisoners fighting. Those who have displeased the Judwigger. Usually slaves who've stepped out. Usually slaves of someone important who've stepped out of line and their masters want to see them made an example of. Yes, occasionally we do have prisoners fighting. I don't tend to pay much attention to those. They're usually not that interesting. If you're asking if there are any scheduled, I've got none. I've got none coming up anytime soon.
Right. Okay. Yes. I was thinking maybe it might be good for Otto to see that. You know.
Yes, I would enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, no, more as instruction. Anyway, but yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. That's very informative, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. You have a good evening now. And he turns and walks away. You see, kind of as he walked away, and the whole time he was here, he kind of had his hands not on the hilt of his sword, but kind of just on the scabbard of his scimitar. Seems to be just some kind of military training that's been drilled into him over a period of time. But he turns sharply, and once again, with a crunch of plate boots on snow, he walks away from you and out of sight. So then, folks, the night is young. What do you all want to do?
I think we know what Brother Amos wants to do.
I'm off to the tavern.
Yes.
Perhaps we should find a different tavern, so as not to cramp his style.
or just go back to the place where we're staying. But I say this very discreetly. So if they don't have any prisoner fights scheduled, that means they don't have any prisoners?
Not necessarily.
Not prisoners that they want people to see that they have.
But why would they have prisoners here if they're not going to fight them?
I assume they don't always make all prisoners fight. It must be according to your status.
I mean, they might not be here.
Well, no, this is it. We've heard they're either here or in the Bone Grinder. I think it just makes it far more likely they're in the Bone Grinder.
Yes.
And we're going there tomorrow. It's
Yes,
going to
we
be a
have
busy
to
day
talk.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Norska. Pick up my flashy new rapier.
Oh, I might be able to get something if we're going there.
Yes, well, I offered last time. I said, is there anything you need or want? Let me know. I did say.
Well, yes, but I've just won. I've just won some winnings. I want to go celebrate.
Well, yes, that's great, but I did offer to pay. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
All right. What's the plan then, folks? What are you doing?
But we do need to come up with a name.
You do need to come up with a name. That's the most important thing.
Well,
And I
drinking
think the
will
best-
help with that.
Yeah,
You've-
the best way to come up with a name is to get drunk.
You've gotten away with it for 90 episodes. And put your foot down. This group needs a name.
We've got a name, we are.
No, we do not have a name.
We do not have a name. The nameless ones. Although we all have our own names.
Phew. Well, we should get some drinks. Find a tavern or an inn.
I was once living in a small place where a stranger came to town and a violent man, but nobody knew his name, so we called him the Man with No Name, which ironically became his name.
There's a moral to that story.
No, there isn't. It was just
No.
an observation.
As you were sorry to derail this wonderful bit of inter-party conversation here. As soon as you started saying that, I started just hearing in my head, "In the desert, you can't remember your name."
You would think if you'd spent day after day after day in the desert on a horse, you would think of a name for it, wouldn't you?
You'd hope so.
Yes.
Even like Sandy.
Yeah.
Well, we all like a drink, don't we?
Yes.
Yes.
And two of us are followers of Caden Kalian.
Yes. Drinking is actually important to us.
So what about something like Caden's Fellows, or
Oh, that's where you were going with this. I
Friends
thought you were
of Kate.
suggesting we just go drinking.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were
Yes.
saying.
The first thing that popped into my head was whiny wankers.
Whiny wankers. Whiny wankers, I like that.
well, some of us whine quite a lot.
Some of us. And many of us have been deprived of gentle company for a long time.
About the battered bastards.
The battered bastards.
Boozy buddies.
I don't think you're allowed to make any more suggestions. In fact, if you do, I'm going to start punching you.
That's fucking time I heal you.
Help, he's healing me.
Yes. Oh, liberating. No, hang on. Yes.
So where is everyone going from here? Are you going back to the Shrine of the Everbloom? Are you going off to the Burnished Heart? Are you?
Yeah,
what are we
I'm
doing,
off to the
folks?
Burnished Heart.
Yeah.
I'm going to meet Greta.
I'm going to suggest that we leave him to it.
Yes.
Yeah, we can come up with a name without you, Brother Amos.
Okay.
I promise I won't let Alwyn pick it.
If I come back and you've all decided on the Fishy Friends, I'm going to have Otto turn into a shark and eat you whilst I ride him
I like the sound of that.
in more ways than one.
Oh, there's an idea. So, I know, like, Brother Amos, you're quite meaty and you can take a punch. Now, I've heard that sort of person being referred to as like a tank. So what about Shark Tank?
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Not to influence you in any particular direction. I quite like that.
I mean, that's better than Fishy Friends.
That's far better than the Fishy Friends.
And of course, a shark is a type of fish. So,
Cheese is a kind of meat.
No, why don't we call ourselves the Shark Tankers? And then if someone asks what it means, we can say it's just rhyming slang.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
And do you drink booze from a tanker?
That took me about half a second too long to get. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
or we can combine it with the whole drinky thing and call it Shark Tankard.
And then we could create tankards with our logo on it.
I've got a tankard, thank you. I mean, it's
I
why
need
Alwyn's
one.
not bothered about going to a tavern because he's got his never-ending tankard.
Yeah, but some of us don't have that.
No.
And we need to go somewhere to supply us with
And
this.
some of us like the ambiance of a tavern.
You're welcome to have some of this.
I wouldn't want to share.
Oh,
But
well,
we like the ambience of a tavern.
We are
don't want
drinking
to
it.
sit
We are
beside
drinking
a-
it straight from the thing, no?
sit at
that's
some
not very COVID-friendly.
wayside stagecoach post in the shelter there, drinking from your never-ending tankard.
I'm sure we can find Alwyn a brown paper bag if he really wants one.
Admittedly, that's probably more of an Amy reaction than a Della reaction.
a never-ending tankard and 4 straws. That's it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Back to my student days. Yeah.
There we go. All right. So Amos, with a little bit of a spring in his step, sort of parts ways with the rest of the group and starts heading up toward the Howlings district. Everybody else, are you heading back to the Shrine of the Everbloom?
Yeah. I think-
Yes.
Well, we can all get drunk.
I'm sure they've got booze there.
Yeah. Well, you've got your tankard, so
Yes.
and you've offered, so that will be fine.
Actually, mechanical question about the tankard. Can I use it to pour beer into other tankards?
That is a great question that I might have to
know.
answer for you off air.
Okay.
Because we are running out of time, and I want to get some other stuff done.
I also have a mechanical question about your never-ending tankard. Do you have to hold it like I would hold a tankard full of beer full of ale while you fight? So hold my pint. You have to hold your pint in one hand and try not to spill it while you're fighting.
It's a stein. It's got a lid.
Yes, but it's not a sealed lid, is it? You can't.
Well, if it's
that like a
never
flappy
ending,
lid?
it's fine. If it spills, it's not going to.
So you just walk
Run
around
out.
slopping ale all over,
Yes.
leaving a trail of
Why else do you think I
Never-ending
smell
ale.
of beer all the time?
running down your pants from where the tankard's hooked to your belt.
Oh, that's not beer. Yes, that.
Well, if you drink enough, it always just smells of beer anyway, doesn't it? Whether it's passed through your system or not, it still smells of beer.
So just reading the bottomless stein stew, it is unfortunately impossible to transfer to another container.
So straws then
Straws.
is the best.
It's got to be straws.
Or just
Straws.
pass it round, you know.
We could
Yeah,
do-
all that.
But I have a rule: never drink anything that tastes the same when it comes back up through your nostrils.
Why is it going through your nostrils?
When it comes back up, it goes down the usual way, but it comes up violently and through the nostrils as well. And if it still tastes the same, then you're not drinking something. You're drinking something
That's
that's not very
drinking
good.
to excess. You know, Caden Kalian doesn't like that.
Oh, really? I thought that was the whole point.
No,
Yeah.
no, Caden Kalian doesn't like excess. He doesn't like people being dicks, basically. But no
Really?
drinking to
I thought
excess.
that was.
No!
Your whole life has been a lie.
My life's work is undone.
There's a reason.
This has been a lie.
There's a reason that Otto has never developed any divine powers from his connections to Caden Kalian.
No, I mean, although that is how I fell in with Caden Kalian in the first place, was through a glass. It's quite an interesting story, but I'll tell you that one day. Yes, let's go back.
Just tell
to
us
the,
that tonight. While we get drunk.
While we're drinking, yes.
We're supposed to be coming up with a name.
We
Oh,
did.
we'll do that. Don't
Which
worry.
one?
Well, I thought we went with shark tankards or something.
Is that the final? That's Shark Tankers.
I
right?
don't know. Everyone seemed
I-
really happy with that one.
I think you should. You guys should. You should have a little vote. Darren, you can cast your vote in this if you wish.
Oh, Amos has fucked off. He's gone.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, yes.
He just walked off whilst they were arguing.
Yeah.
I'll vote for. Bye then. Yeah, I'll vote for Shark Tankard.
Yes, fine. Shark tankard. I will.
Yeah.
I will write it. Shall we go and get tattoos?
No.
What?
No.
How dedicated? How attached to this name are you? Really?
Well, not very. I wanted us to be the Fishy Friends.
We're not going to be the Fishy Friends.
It works on so many levels.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, all right. Do you know what? Granted, Friends is a bit of a stretch.
That's not the bit I've got a problem with.
Hang on. Damn it. We've known you for like, what, a week? I mean, granted, it feels like a year. Happy anniversary. But it's only been a week or thereabouts, roughly.
Now you mentioned it, Stu, I was thinking about this earlier when I was kind of looking at exactly when Amy joined us. Yeah, I think it has only been about 2 weeks since you first met her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
In game, it's not been very long at all.
Oh,
Because
in that
I've-
case, we are
I've
not
really
Fishy
dragged
Friends.
I've really dragged out the journey to Whitethrone.
You wouldn't chuckle, as they say in some parts of the world.
Well, we've been through a lot with each other, so.
Yeah.
But it's not been fishy.
And anyway, friends share their backstories. Anyway. Ooh, I'm getting glared at.
So
sick
Della
burn.
walks off back to wherever we were going, but just off on her own, ignoring the rest of the conversation.
She's purposefully 10 feet in front of everyone else.
Oh no, she's not keeping 10 feet. She's going.
Fair enough.
Head on back.
All right. So the rest of the group, you make your way back to the shrine of the Everbloom. You get back there with no what's the word I'm looking for?
Issues.
My brain's completely failed. Issues.
Encounters.
We'll go with issues. Encounters. Issues. Encounters.
Mishap.
Mishaps.
Oh, what
Nothing
a
bad
shame.
happens.
Fuck
Nothing
ups.
bad happens as you Nothing bad happens as you make your way back to the shrine of the Everbloom. You are greeted once again by the crossbow wielding sentries in the stairwell, who challenge you to offer the password, which is
The rose that
No,
blooms
I
in
changed-
Those in the
ever-dying battle.
dying. No, the
I
dying
changed my
ember
book.
of battle.
Yes,
I don't have
that's
my.
The rose that blooms in the dying in the
dying
ember of battle.
Oh,
There
let
we
me
go.
double check this.
someone remembers. I'm glad.
Rob of
You
the
are- yeah.
wasteland.
That's wrong. I can't tell if you're doing a bit, Stu, but that's wrong. Oh dear. Right, you make your way back
Stu
to the
is
shrine
not
of
as
the
thick
Everbloom.
as Alwyn. I just want to make this absolutely clear for our listeners, for the other players. Stu is not as dense as Alwyn.
There we go.
Mostly.
Either way, you make your way back to the shrine of the Everbloom. You see that Solvig and the rest of the Herald have kind of been patching up their injuries and whatever they've been doing after the battle with the ghouls, and you settle in for an evening at the shrine of the Everbloom. Brother Amos, meanwhile, you make your way across the city, sort of back towards the Howlings district, where you first enter the city, and where you met Digby Rat, where you got your papers from, and after asking around a little bit, you soon find your way to a small tavern by the name of the Burnished Heart, which is actually. As you take a look around, it's the same tavern that is opposite Digby Rat's place, where you saw a couple of trolls.
Did you just say it was called the Burning Shard?
The Burning Shard. Why not? If that's what you heard, that's what I said. The Burning Shard. And you recognise it as the same tavern where you saw some trolls and some winter wolves arguing. As you were sneaking into Digby's house, you step inside and you immediately feel out of place, Brother Amos. You step inside, you see that the entire tavern is filled with humans with white, sort of bright white hair of varying lengths and styles, all with piercing blue eyes. And kind of as you step in, it's that classic Western moment where the guy playing the piano stops playing. Everyone in the bar turns to look at you. You hear a glass smash from behind the bar as a bottle of something is dropped. And kind of as you step inside, Brother Amos, you see sort of waving you over to a small booth. In the corner, you see Greta. All right. As you walk over to Greta, you see she already has a cup of wine, sort of on her side of the bench. There is one on your side as well, and she gestures for you to sit. I'm glad you could make it, Amos. I must confess I wasn't sure that you'd come. A lot of humans get a bit funny when they think of me as a wolf.
It doesn't bother me. I really wanted to see if you could drink as well as you fight.
Well, I'm sure we can find that out. And that's where we're going for tonight.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Fiegel Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com. Editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
Taverns like that always put me in mind of American Werewolf in London. You make me miss. I've never missed that word. So, pubs like that on the moors. I genuinely like that.
The slaughtered lamb.
That's the one.
I have the new Arrow 4K special edition of that on pre-order.
Oh,
Looks lovely.
Right.
It's got some documentaries in there, a nice big book, some postcards and posters and soundtrack and things.
Oh, well, now I know that's a thing. I'll have to look that up.
So it's on HMV.
Excellent.
It's like 30 quid.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. The
I
sequel
went
was
to see.
terrible.
I went to see an American Werewolf in London at the Cinema Museum in Kennington, it's a great place. It's in the old workhouse where Charlie Chaplin apparently once did time as a youngster, and because they've got all this you've been there, Stu, haven't you? They've got all the old all the posters and old projectors, and also it's a proper museum. But there's also there's a smaller cinema downstairs and a big sort of open hall upstairs for larger screenings, where there's also bookstores and a bar and things, all sort of open plan. But we went into the little cinema downstairs to watch an American Werewolf in London, and I took Janet, who'd never seen it, because she's scared of horror films, so she didn't like to see it. And you know that bit where he transforms in the porno cinema when he does his second, where he meets all his previous victims and then transforms again, and there's a porn film on the screen. Well, the actress who was the actor, or the female actor, whatever you want to call her, who was in the porn film, her name is Lindsay something. So she presented the film.
Right.
She was and she's quite a regular at the Cinema Museum. So it was nice to.
I thought you were going to say you're seeing the porno on screen, and Janet didn't know that I was in that movie.
It's a great scene, that porn scene. But it's but to see her porn star 40 years on introducing the film that she was in, but a cameo role, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, it's a joke you could make.
Film within a film.
Sorry.